This is the Expect Awesome Podcast, your source for expecting and achieving awesome with a God-powered confidence. And now, motivational speaker and Integrity Doctors President, Mr. Ryan K. Maul.
What's up, everybody? It is a new year. I think I've already mentioned that. I think I've already said it in a past one, but it is Happy New Year. It is 2021. I am pumped. I'm ready to do this thing. And you know what? This week's going to be a little bit different. Just a little bit different. I want to talk about some personal stuff today. I want to give some praise if I can. So for those of you that have listened for a long time, you know I'm no stranger to talking about my faith. I'm no stranger to talking about my life. And you know, I debated for a while of whether I should talk about what I'm about to talk about, even though it's awesome and it's great. I didn't know if I should, and the more I've just felt kind of called to tell you, and so I'm going to do it. So I'm going to talk about something today, and I want to talk about it and kind of give you what I learned from it, something that's really helped me that my dad taught me. My dad, Keith, is the CEO of Integrity Doctors. He has blessed me with all types of just tidbits and things over the years, and this is one that really has helped me. It's really meant a lot to me lately, and I feel like it could help some of you. And so if you've followed along, you've kind of heard my history. I've been very kind of open lately, especially in 2020, about my struggles with anxiety, with my struggles with fears and panic attacks and anxiety attacks and all the different things. And you know, I'd been going through a whole lot of stuff, and I was on Xanax, and I was taking it every single day, pretty much. Especially, we had our Elite Week back in December in Dallas, Texas, and I was just constantly, just felt horrible. I can't quite explain it. It was really a difficult week for me. I just was getting panic attacks. I even had one at lunch. I was at a Mexican restaurant after the event was over, and I kind of had to put my head between my legs because I just nearly lost it. And you know, this is after I've done different therapies. I've done different things. Like I said, I've got prescription drugs. I have got all these things. I thought I was making progress. I thought things were going really well. And after that happened, we came back, and Dad came over to my house, and he said, you know, we need to talk. And I was like, well, okay. And he said, you know, this can't happen anymore. You know, you can't work doing this. You can't. You know, this is a struggle. You know, you can't be this way. We can't risk anything like this. We can't risk your health. You know, and it's obvious there's something wrong. And my frustration at the time was I totally agreed with him. At the same time, I didn't quite know what the answer could be because I felt like I'd been through everything. I've read the books. I've studied people that on mental conditioning, and I've seen therapists, and I've gone to different doctors. I've been through the ring. I've gone through everything, and I've talked to pastors and leaders and trying to get advice, and I was doing everything that I was being taught and told, and nothing was working. Nothing was working at all. And so we were sitting there talking, and my dad said, you know, he goes, he goes, how's your faith? I said, well, you know, my faith is good. I was like, you know, I've done more. I've been putting that more first. And he said, well, I get that, but it sounds like while you are working on your faith, you're not giving up. And I said, well, no, I'm not giving. I mean, I'm not a give up kind of person. He goes, well, no, I didn't mean it giving up. He goes, it sounds like you haven't trusted God to fix it. And man, that was kind of a wake up call. I hadn't thought of it that way. He said, you know, he goes, well, he said, what's it like? How do you feel? Like what? I said, well, I was like, to be honest with you, it's not even a sickness. I just feel I just feel a darkness over me that I can't control. There's this dark, it's worse than a storm cloud. It's just this, I'm at the edge of the sun and a hurricane all the time. And it's just this darkness I can't quite beat. And my dad said, well, it's time for you to give it up. It's time for you to give it to God. And I was like, okay. And he said, he taught me this thing of this lesson. I'm not going to tell it perfectly, but I remember what I remember, and it has helped me. And that's what I'm passing along to you. he kind of started singing a little bit, which most of you know my father. That doesn't happen very often. He's got a great voice, but he just doesn't sing very often. And he started singing Trust and Obey. And he told me that he'd learned when he was younger at a conference, when he was in his early 20s. At this conference, he was taught that you put everything, you hold out your hands, like actually do this. So I'm telling you, if you're watching this, you can see me do it. If you're listening, if there's stuff that is bothering you right now, you need to hold out your hands in front of you and hold them open like you're getting ready to catch something, like catch a large ball. And you hold them out and you say, and you just kind of visualize everything. And you look at it and you pray and you tell God, here's what I have. And you talk about what it is that you're worried about, what you're stressed about, what you're anxious about, what you're nervous about, and you visualize it in your hands. And then before the prayer's up, you turn your palms. So you turn the palms out, as you can see in the video, but as I'll talk you through it, you turn them out and you push away from your body. You give those to God. So you hold it, you visualize it, you talk about it, and you tell God, you know what? I'm giving this to you. Only you. Only you can fix it. Only you can take it. Only you can have it. I have it. I'm trying to support it. I'm trying to do it. But now I'm giving it. And you physically, I can't explain it enough because there's other things I've taught and other ones. To me, there is a huge connection to doing something physically rather than just saying it. So actually pushing your hands out, like you're pushing someone away from your body, pushing your hands out and telling God, I'm giving this to you. I'm putting this in your hands. I can't do it anymore. It's yours. Now, at that same time, after all that happened, Dad said it before he left. He reached out and took my hand. And my dad's not a very, touchy-feely guy. Let's just be honest. We hug very rarely. Even though we say, I love you a lot, it's just not something. So he held my hand and he said, I want to pray for you. And so he started to pray. And he started to pray telling God that we needed a miracle and that God needed to take it and he needed to get rid of it and he needed to fix it. And, I can tell you this. I've been in church all my life. I wouldn't consider myself one of those Pentecostal types is maybe the easiest way to put it. I've been raised kind of in Methodist, Baptist, very more traditional churches, not necessarily Assembly of God, although I've been to those and I go to non-denominationals quite a bit and I like a good rowdy service every now and again. But because of that, I've always been, the idea of laying hands on someone and fixing it has never, it's just not something I've ever thought was happened all that much. It's not that I didn't think it couldn't, but I was holding his hand and he was praying for me, for God to fix it and God to take it. And while he was doing that, I felt 2 tears fall out of my eyes. There was one from each eyeball. And I don't know any other way to give it to you or to tell you, but the honest truth is that when the second tear fell, when it left my eye, I can't quite put into words what it was, but it was instant healing. It was over. I don't know other way to put it. The teardrop, and I literally opened my eyes and was like, why are we praying? Like I felt fine. And I hadn't felt fine in 2 years. I'd been struggling with this for a very long time. And I was just like, wait, I'm back. Like I'm here again. It's me. And I don't quite know how to put it into words, but I can honestly say it was a miracle. And I am a living, walking miracle. And I don't say that to try to say anything weird or do anything. I'm saying that to say it happened to me. God healed me instantly. When I say that, I'm talking, it's been over a month and I haven't had a Xanax since. I don't carry it with me anymore. I haven't had a panic attack. I haven't had an anxiety attack. I haven't had a thought of depression. I haven't had a negative anything. I have felt great. And I look back on it now and I realize I was trying so hard to find the answer myself that I neglected to realize the answer was always there. And it's a disappointment on my part that it took me so long to go to the answer. But now that I have, all I can tell you is this, and this is the reason I wanted to tell you today. That's why I feel like when God does something awesome, you should talk. You should tell it, so people know that it does happen. I didn't expect it. I would have never predicted it, but it's happened to me. I'm a living proof that miracles can happen. I took a Xanax the day of. I haven't had one since. I had a panic attack the morning of. Hadn't had one since. And I tell you all this to let you know, I am so stinking on fire right now. It's ridiculous. I'm saying prepare ye the way. I am coming in 2021. I have got some things planned for both our conferences, for our marketing, for all types. I am. Let's say I'm not going to take this miracle for granted. I have rededicated myself to his awesomeness and the awesomeness that he has put inside me, that he is pushing out to me. And I'm coming. I'm going to bring the heat. And this year, you are going to get so much, and I'm going to spread it far and wide. So with that, I just want to say thank you for listening. And if you need a miracle right now, I think maybe it's time to, rather than praying for God to fix it, maybe you need to just pray that God takes it. You need to quit taking it. You need to quit worrying. You need to quit thinking that you are the one that has to deal with it. No. It's time for you to give it to God. It's time for you to literally, palms out, give it to him. Let him take it on. Whatever he wants, whatever he expects to get out, whatever he plans to do, trust it. Because I know that I worked on it for myself to find my own answer, to find my own way for 2 years, and I couldn't. And I went to plenty of experts who couldn't. I talked to plenty of people who couldn't. It was God the whole time. He had the answer. But he wasn't going to give it to me unless I went to him. So for those of you that are struggling with something right now, I'm telling you, give it to him. No matter how big, no matter how small, it's time to give it to God. Thanks for listening, everybody. Let's end this one the way I always do. God, I want to thank you for today. I want to thank you for your awesomeness. I want to thank you for everything that you've done for me, everything that you've blessed me with. And I want to thank you for giving me the purpose that you've given me to not only teach awesomeness, teach confidence, but to not just help people, but to be a living example and to be a reflection of who you want me to be. I pray that you look out for everyone listening, that you watch over them, that you look after them, that you allow them to trust you. And I pray that when they give you their hurts, when they give you their faults, when they give you their anxiety, take it and get rid of it and do with what you need to do to make the awesomeness come back. God, I give you all the praise. It's in your name I pray. Amen. I love you guys. Thanks for listening. But buckle up, because 2021, I'm coming.
For more awesomeness, visit RyanKMall.com or follow him on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at RyanKMall. Until next time, keep smiling and remember, you are awesome.